think you were on 8.
Let me be philosophical now.
Yeah, what are some of the tasks that you complete on a daily basis?
Well, I bathe routinely. I shower 1 to 2 times a week if there's enough hot water. Brushing my teeth is something that I struggle with more in the past. I do a pretty good job, and flossing is ideal. I think that is important. Does that answer your question? Did you mean in regards to nursing? Oh. Well, nursing is really, really easy if you know how to deal with people. So, I could train you to put an IV in right now. It would take us 10 minutes and you could put an IV in. I could train you to put a Foley catheter in, meaning a tube in somebody's penis or their urethra, and they could pee out of it. But I can't train you to know how to talk to people when their family member's dying. You have to have that. And you have to understand how to deal with it with grace and dignity. And when your patients need to smile, you need to know how to make them smile. And when they need to cry, you need to be able to make them feel comfortable crying to talk about their problems. As a nurse in a hospital, you only deal with people that are sick. You can't hang out here unless you're sick. So, death and dying is part of it. Healing is a huge part of it. So if you can help somebody cope with something, so mental health, emotional health, coping skills are more important than I can stitch you up if you got a wound, right? But if you're up in here, then that's the hard part. So helping people get through tough times, coping, teaching other nurses, younger nurses. My job now is an educator, so I don't focus on the clinical tasks that they need to do because that's just crap that you train a monkey. Somebody can hang an IV bag and put a IV tubing in it. You could train, somebody, you could train a monkey to do that stuff. It's easy. It's the stuff behind it. So if I'm going to come in and tell you that you have stage 3 cancer, it's inoperable, you're going to die soon, I can't just walk into the room and be like, hey, guess what? You got an inoperable brain tumor and you're going to die in 6 months. Right? You have to be able to put coping mechanisms in and learn how to deal with families and their loved ones and the patients. And it's fun because we're all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything that's going to happen in my future except for the fact that I'm not going to live forever. I know there'll be a time where I'm going to die. I work on a cardiac telemetry floor, so people's hearts stop working. So we do deal with a lot of end-of-life issues. So if you're good at talking to families when their family members are going to die, you see, our culture does a really shitty job of dealing with death. Other cultures embrace death as a part of life and they celebrate people's lives. We fall the fuck apart when somebody dies. And we're all gonna die. So what the fuck's the surprise? I mean, when you have someone who's 7 years old and they get shot by a crazy gunman, that's a different story. I'm not made out to counsel somebody for that. I'll lose my mind. But if I work with people long enough with heart failure and I know them and I've established a relationship with them and I can talk to their family, they're going to die. They're going to die of heart failure. So I make them as comfortable as I possibly can, when they're going through the dying process. So talking to your colleagues, talking to the doctors, talking to the nurses, talking to the other staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, you're all a team, so you do what's best for the patient. You need a tissue?
Okay.
Sure?
Yeah, positive.
Are you crying? Why are you crying?
I'm laughing.
What are you laughing about?
I'm good.
Oh, I'm going to have to bleep out
listen,
the interview.
you're
No,
not allowed to leave here until you tell me. Come on.
No, it's just the fact that
I'm gonna have to really bleep out this interview.
Well, this isn't. You gotta write it out, right?
Yeah.
Or can you play this?
No, I'll cut it out.
You'll
trans-
omit certain
Yeah.
things. Fuck that. How about that one? That one's definitely going. Being able to deal with people and make people comfortable is huge. So if you fucking do all the shit that you're supposed to, it makes it easy. All right. Question number 9. Have you ever seen a grown man naked? Yes, I have.
How does cardiac nursing differ from others?
Every nursing discipline is different. So, if you deal with babies and moms, and you're a maternity nurse, it's a lot different than geriatric nursing. If you deal with psychiatric patients, it's a lot different than dealing with patients who don't suffer that badly from mental illness, because we're all a little fucking crazy. Some people have true mental illness that needs to be diagnosed, but that's psych nursing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. I tried it. It didn't work for me. Labor and delivery and women's health is primarily a female field, and I was never really a big fan. In fact, I don't know how I graduated that semester that I went through family birth, because I was just like hanging out with the babies and stuff and playing around. But the tower we were in, so psych is right over here. That's a different world. Family birth, babies, mothers, children, that's a different world. If you go in the tower, it's sick people, sick adults. And that's who I work best with, adults. My specialty is cardiology, so if you live long enough, are you both white?
No,
What are you?
I'm Hispanic.
Okay, so it doesn't matter, you're in the same category.
Oh.
If we live long enough, we die of heart disease.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody's heart stops. But I like understanding the heart because it runs all the other organs. And if you get a good cardiac foundation, it'll make your life and world easier. If you go into psych, you don't have to know so much about cardiac. If you go into baby mother, unless you're a NICU nurse, you don't know that much about the heart. But if you work with adults or geriatric population or adolescents or young people, you have to know about the cardiac system, and it runs everything else. And if you can have a good understanding of that, then you know pretty much everything else.
What kind of shifts do you work?
The kind of shifts that most nurses don't get. So most nurses get tough shifts, especially when they're new to the gig. You have to pay your dues.
Night shift.
So night shift, caseloads are heavy. You get heavy patients. Hazing is basically what it is. But I did all that. I was a floor nurse for 3 years, and then I became a supervisor. And then I became a nurse educator. So now my hours are kosher. I could do basically what I want as long as the work gets done. Like, I spent the last 3 hours goofing off with you two, who happen to be a bad influence on me. But I can make that up at the end of the day, and I'll just do what I need to do at the end of the day. If I have to come in at 9 o'clock, I come in at 9 o'clock. If I have to be here at 7, I come in at 7. I get to work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and I get weekends and holidays off. So I work 4 days a week with a day off in the middle. So I have probably the coolest schedule there is in nursing. But you can do anything in nursing, anything you want. I see you, whatever you could think of as far as something that you think you would enjoy, you could do. There's 12-hour shifts, there's 8-hour shifts, there's 10-hour shifts. You know, a lot of people do 36-hour shifts and pick up overtime shifts because there's always overtime shifts available, but if they're tired that week, then they don't do an extra shift. So they'll work 36 hours. They'll work 3 12s. The nurses in the ICU, they work 3 12s. If they work 6 days in a week in a row, they get 2 weeks off. Because they work their 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. They work their 2 36-hour weeks, and then they get the next 2 weeks off. So it's, you can do whatever you want in nursing as far as scheduling goes.
What's your favorite part about your job?
Stealing narcotics. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, dealing with people. If you go down to the gas station and some dude makes you a sandwich and you ask like for onions, and he doesn't want to put onions, he'll spit in your sandwich and then give it to you and sell it to you and say, and if you're lucky, he'll be like, have a nice day. But people don't talk. I mean, people don't talk to their neighbors. People don't talk to their... You can't even get together with your family because things are so busy. But in nursing, you get to know people. And you get to help them. So if I knew you for 8 hours, you'd probably feel comfortable with me. And then maybe the next shift I worked with you, you'd feel a little more comfortable telling me, you know, this sucks and this sucks and... how can I help this and what can I do? And most of the time it's psychosocial. There's a lot of emotional fatigue and drain that goes behind being sick. So you get to deal with people. That's my favorite part.
Just a few more questions. We normally think of nurses as female. With that being said, why did you pursue this career?
Because I was surrounded by females.
Seriously?
Yeah. What young guy doesn't want to be surrounded by good-looking female nurses? No, I actually worked in a group home. Don't write that down. I worked in a group home with developmentally disabled adults. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I wanted to find a job around here because I grew up here. I was stationed in North Carolina, and I moved back home. And I worked for Ability Beyond Disability, which was DATAR. And I worked with autistic kids and with autistic adults. I'm violent. And it was like hands-on stuff. Like, you know, I brushed the poop out of their teeth and brushed the poop out of their ears and cleaned them and bathed them. And I did stuff like that I never had thought I would do. You know, when I was in the Marine Corps, like, you fought, you drank beer, and if somebody tried to kill them, you tried to kill them back. But when I got out of the Marine Corps, that work was really rewarding for me because it was people who needed a lot of help and I could do it. So I went into the nursing program at WestCon and I liked it and just pursued it.
Were you ever discriminated against by your teachers or other nurses for being male?
No, in fact, I graduated Sigma Cum Laude, and I didn't do a damn bit of work. They just needed a male to have those honors.
Okay, so on the other hand, were you ever given special attention because you were male?
Of course. And by special, I'm going to keep that off the record because they may still work there.
And my last...
You know Kathy, the secretary that works in the nursing department?
I don't think so.
Barb Piscopo, Dr. Halloran, Dr. Geraci. You don't know anybody in the nursing program at WestCon?
No.
Is that where you're going to go?
I don't know yet. I haven't heard back from all my schools yet.
Where'd you apply?
I applied to URI, Pace University, UConn, Central, WestCon, and had 2 more for the name.
What is your favorite?
Pace University.
Pace? You'll get in. You have good grades? What were your SAT scores?
Oh, that's the reason. My SAT scores were really low.
What were they?
They were like 1,300, 1,400.
That's awesome. When I went to school, that
No,
would have been
it's
great.
it's not 1,600.
Yeah, but that would have been cool. 1,300, that's fine. Fuck them all. Go to Pace. Walk in and be like, listen, I'm going to give you the money. Shut up. I'll go to class, I promise. And you're going...
I want to go to UConn.
That's good school.
You need to apply.
You know what? I'm going to get in though, so we're good.
When are you gonna apply?
The deadline's January 15th.
Yeah, but I'm gonna apply January 3rd.
I applied in November.
Did you get an acceptance letter?
No, they're
Well,
not.
UConn isn't telling anyone if they got in or not until March.
Alright, so you're gonna wait till the last minute?
Yes, she is.
Sit right there. Let's do this. Pause.